Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to tie in a weed guard on the Pultz Popper. So the first way I'll show you is really simple, and it's actually the way Neil does it. He actually pushes 2 holes with a push pin or a small nail right here and right here on both sides of the hook joint. Then he takes a piece of monofilament and cuts it to length. Get a little bit of super glue on one side. And you put it in there, you glue it in. Once that's in there, it stays pretty good. So now you de-loop it over, and you find where it doesn't catch on the hook point. So right there, it's a little too long. Right about there, it's about right. So mark that with your finger. And cut the line. Put a little bit of super glue on this side. And put it in. And there's a D-style weed guard on that. So that'll help deflect weeds away from it. This is 30-pound mono. And that'll keep it pretty weedless. In the really heavy stuff, you need to do it the other way I'm going to show you. Where you actually have to tie the weed guard in from the hook shank up to the front. And that'll really keep it clean in the heavy stuff. So this one requires a vise. And you just mount the popper in upside down. Try and get all these little hair feathers out of the way. Take a little spit off your finger, and it'll really help keep the marabou down, because this stuff is wild. But you want it wild because in the water it really dances. Take your bobbin and some any old color line to match, thread to match the body of your fly. Some guys will do it to match the tail. I do it to match the body. I guess it really doesn't matter. I've never seen a fish act up because the line wasn't colored. Just tie that in there. Take our monofilament. And I just hang it over the edge here. And you want to tie it on the back side of the shank, directly opposite of the hook point. Otherwise it'll be a little off center and it'll be not quite as weedless. So I just wrap it down, and then nice and snug and tight coming back up. Throw a couple of half hitches in. One, two. Oh, get them feathers out. Few feathers are going to get trapped in there. There's not much you can do about it. I keep my thread tight till I dab just a little bit of super glue on that knot. Just clean it up with my fingers. Now we can cut the thread out. So now I take just a little bit of, Sally Hansen's, whatever you got laying around, and just strengthen those threads up some. Give them something where if a tooth catches it, it's not going to come unraveled. Doesn't need much. Then I take and I measure my distance that I want. You can put a little more, a little less. Nice middle ground. Cut off the extra mono. So that's going to sit in there pretty nice. Same as with the D-loop one now. I'll take my safety pin and I'm going to punch just one little hole just barely off to the side of the hook shank. Little dab of super glue. You can put a little knot with a lighter on the end of the monofilament. It'll help it stay in there a little bit stronger. I've never had one come loose, so they don't pull on that very much. So now I'm just going to push this into the hole. There we go. And there you have the finished weed guard. And when a fish bites that, it'll knock it out of the way pretty easy. But for the weeds, it really holds up well.